So, what are the social implications related to regeneration and TREchoes? Well, mostly due to the use of cybernetics. First, we have social trust issues due to cybernetic use. Some places won't even allow cybernetics. Sports, cybernetics having a faster reaction time, we might as well have a whole division just for them. Military use, I won't even touch on the subject. Hacking and the dangers of hacked cybernetics. The title explains itself. Religion, the paradox of reincarnation. Well, people are still thinking that we're taking pictures of their souls. Well, actually, it's just a picture of their astral body. Rule of law legality on deceased Regen people. Quantum physics is going to be changed. Classic physics is going to be changed. And there's the superficial knowledge regarding TREchoes. People are still believing that it's just absent nerve transduction caused by progressive degeneration, among other things. Well, what is TREcho? TREcho is the result of oozing energy coming from a quantum entanglement field disrupted by violent physical trauma. The quantum entanglement binds the user's DNA by means of its subatomic particles to the Ibrahim sphere's imprint. The energy information from this bond lies in higher dimensions, collapsing into the verse, in this case, the imprint's DNA. Here, we have our astral expression, existing in 4D and 5D, bringing itself into existence through our own DNA. The Van Duel technology was able to make an imprint which pulls the energy, the information from the same source. Therefore, they're both quantically entangled. Pico resolution scanning revealed disconformities within atoms' electronic layer disposition. In humans, at least, the oozing quantum entanglement energy from the disruption field shifts the electronic configuration of calcium. It makes the effective nuclear charge of calcium plus 2 transform into calcium plus 3, making it a transitional metal, but only when it resides within the quantum entanglement disruption field. So here we can see what happens to the electrosphere of calcium. You can see that there is an extra electron in the outermost layer, which is the 4s layer. Anomalies localized within the cell's electric potential were only found in the traumatized body region due to the change in calcium's effective nuclear charge. And then we have flawed desmosomal structures promoting macroscale lesions. Here we can see the TREcho affecting the area and then shifting the calcium within that area to plus 3, whereas in the other regions, the distal part of the arm and the proximal part of the arm, in both regions, the calcium remains plus 2. This is the most complete depiction of a cell yet. We can see all of its structures and organelles, but the structure here responsible for TREchoes are the desmosomes. So before we understand what TREchoes does to our bodies, first we need to understand the nature of the damage, because it isn't expressed to the material DNA, but we believe that it's related to genetic memory. One of the reasons we have to believe that is that the quantum entanglement disruption field will affect the region which said DNA segment is related to.
Unlike a low IVS imprint, when dealing with TREchoes, you will look at the DNA structure and it's all there.
So why don't we take a look at the DNA structure to see what's there? This is your cell. You can see the nucleus being highlighted there. This is the gene library. You can see the DNA attached to the histones. The gene transcriptions as well. The nucleus gateway, through where the mRNA gets out to the nucleus exterior. And this is how your DNA organizes itself. You can see the chromatins forming up. everything that you are since the moment that you are conceived is all because of this singular moment.
The imprinted human body. We are composed by 10 to 13 trillion cells. They are all imprinted with the user's DNA, which is the information from the Ibrahim sphere's imprint. So when your imprint is damaged, all your cells' DNA gets imprinted with said damage. And then we have the introns and the exons. The exons being the pieces of DNA segment used for transcription of somatic parts. So you can see here that we have DNA segments for every part of our body. We have DNA segments for our legs that can transcribe our legs. We have DNA segments that transcribe our arms, and even DNA segments that transcribe our eyes. So the quantum entanglement disruption field. It is a fourth, fifth dimensional perception. It is a temporal, immaterial, the astral realm. It behaves kinda like the warp from Warhammer 40k, but it's peaceful. Also relates to the astral realm of spiritism. Historians call it interspace. Time and space behaves differently there. The quantum entanglement fields connected the projected dimensional shadows, where, well, the user's DNA and the imprint's DNA, through the immaterial, atemporal. They occupy the same time-space, so injury to one instantly meets the other. So energy flows from higher to lower dimensions. You can call them dimensional shadows. The energy is binded to its material anchor, the same way that we explained it before. So when a large sum of energy, being kinetic, being heat, being radiation, when it's focused at one single point at atomic level, it can break the quantum entanglement continuity that binds the DNA segment to what it transcribes, alongside with the affected body atoms, but only if the person dies from it. It's triggered by violent trauma, instantly followed by death, but I'm still not sure of this. The disruption field starts by affecting the perimeters of the limb skin, in this case at the height where the violent trauma, the TREcho, occurred, growing inwards to the center until the limb is severed.
The disruption field is kinda like a guillotine strapped into where the TREcho happened.
The quantum entanglement disruption field takes place right after regen. The bioprinter can regen the arm whenever, but temporal continuity won't allow it for for long. The user's DNA felt the loss of the limb, the organ, and the quantic material expression of it is presented as a TREcho. You can
Always regen the TREcho's affected area every 2 hours. If you have a bioprinter available, will it cost any IVS?
repetitive and or consecutive causes of death damage could increase the chance and or set the location for TREcho's occurrences. He lost the whole
arm
and died. The TREcho is expressed by a very thin line circling the arm at the height of where the energy was condensed enough to breach into the imprint's DNA. The form and locations of disruption fields may vary and also couldn't reach internal organs. The resulting oozing energy that renders the desmosomes ineffective behaves as a cosmic astral weak nuclear force, which is easy to push back, but if left unchecked, starts to act on the system again. So how did I figure that the problem was within the calcium's electrosphere? Well, the answer to that is scanners. So I did the obvious thing and tried the microtech scanners. They had the power but lacked precision on those magnitudes of measure. Next, I tried the biodecarb scanners, but they wouldn't cut it too. They couldn't interpret the readings, giving me highly alternated result. It is one thing to photograph electrons, real-time measure of them is tough. So I had to search for more powerful ones in Charvu. And there I found a MISC engineer working on titanium refinement and performance improvement, and he would have such scanner with a nice set of precision parameters. With this great resolution, I was able to reach into the atom's electronic disposition. And that's how I've discovered that the problem was within the desmosomes. So, would you please follow me to this room so I can give you an explanation about the desmosomes? But if you would please first clean your hands in the UV sanitizer on your right, please. Thank you. So follow me. Please follow me. Right there, follow me. One more step, follow me. The desmosomes. They bind cells together and along the basal sheet. They make for structural morphology of tissues. They make for neuroglia structural integrity and enable connection with neurons. And they are found to communicate energy, the X system from Old Earth's Japanese acupuncture. And then we have the cadherins. They make for the most part of the desmosome structure. The cadherins from cells' desmosomes are bound by Ca+2, and when they are target of a quantum entanglement disruption field, their calcium plus 2 turns into calcium plus 3 due to the oozing energy from higher dimensions. Calcium remains with an effective nuclear charge of plus 3 only when it resides within the quantum entanglement disruption field. Now we have the connexins, the communicating junctions. They enable communication with other cells. They also enable the exchange of substances. They are responsible for the nourishment of neurons through the neuroglia cells. In order to work, the connexin must be paired with another, which is only achieved when desmosomes are tightly connected. And here is our neuroglia. This is how our neurons get nourished. You can see here that the astrocytes brings in the nourishment coming from the blood vessels and pours them into the neurons. People initially thought that TREchoes was just flawed synapses caused by nerve degeneration, but this thorough analysis shows us something different. So it becomes clear to understand that without proper cadherins, we don't have proper connexins, and with that, the exchange of nutrients between cells simply don't work. And the consequences of that is the nerve degeneration. Would you be so kind and follow me to this other room where I can show you some differential diagnostics that I have made? Well, beyond pemphigo-related clinic signs, TREcho-afflicted people can't utilize said limb due to the lack of neuroglia's active maintenance on the neurons that innervate the muscle unit or organ caught in the TREcho. The lack of innervation doesn't render the limb unnurtured yet. Therefore, tissue necrosis won't set in for a while. On the differential diagnostics regarding pemphigo, it is shown that people with TREchoes maintain cadherin transcription, but exhibit related clinic signs.